My attention-seeking daughter falsely accused 3 men. Am I the jerk for not believing my daughter when she said she was intimately assaulted? My wife and I have 3 daughters, Ali, B, and Ellie. This mostly centers around Ellie and starts in 2018. Around the beginning of summer, my wife lost her job. A month later, my mother passed away, meaning that I had to put my dad into a home due to his dementia. They lived 3 states over, so the arrangements for my mother, things, and my dad's care were complicated, and there was quite a bit of travel, which my wife mostly took care of since I was working a lot more to cover without her income. On top of that, my estranged sister was challenging my mother's will, and B was getting ready for college. When it rains, it pours. Except it was hailing, and I'll admit we expected Ellie, 15 at the time, to take care of herself quite a bit more than she was used to. She skipped school a few times and became more moody, but we chalked it up to being a teenager. We put her into a counseling program through the school and tried to be there a bit more, but it was hard. With everything else going on, it didn't help. She started getting worse. Once my wife got a new job, I went to visit Ali and B for a week, but I was called 2 days later by my wife, who told me that Ellie had been self-harming. I cut my trip short and came home. Ellie told us it was because a boy had been picking on her and she didn't know what to do. We called the school, switched her classes to minimize their interactions, and changed her counseling from once a month to bi-weekly, which was the most we could get right then. One day, she came home and told us that she'd gone over to the neighbor's house to help him rake leaves and that he'd invited her in, then groped her. We were horrified and called the cops who came over, but they told us our neighbor wasn't home, and a look at his Facebook showed that he'd left to stay in Mexico for the winter 3 weeks prior to this. When we confronted her, she changed her story to the incident happening before he left. We were unsure what to do with this and left it alone. The behavior ramped up after this. She started self-harming every time me or my wife went away for more than one night. She began skipping school more frequently and drinking and smoking with her friends. We applied for her to see a therapist outside of the school, but she resisted heavily, even running away. At one point, CPS got involved, which was beyond nightmarish. Along with this, there were more accusations. She claimed that 2 girls had attacked her at her locker at school, that a male teacher had invited her into his classroom and propositioned her, and that a male student had assaulted her in the girls' bathroom. Each time security footage disproved them. We got another call from CPS and found out that she'd been making abuse accusations against us as well, along with other people that we were unaware of. We were forced to send her to live with my uncle while we worked them out, but she got sent home to us after telling people that he forced her to watch intimate videos on his laptop. Again, it was found that he didn't own a laptop and her story changed to his phone. We began talking with a family therapist who specializes in cases like this, as well as one who works with troubled teenagers. We were told that my daughter's actions were a cry for attention and that the accusations would stop if they were ignored. We followed the advice that was given to us and found her a therapist that she liked. The behavior slowly started to go away and nearly dropped off after she came out to us as a lesbian. We were warned that there was a chance for it to return after a big life event. This was in 2020. In early 2021, Ali's son was born. Our first grandchild, Ali, lives about 4 hours away, so there was quite a bit of travel again, and Ellie had to stay home due to her schoolwork. It was a bit stressful as there were a lot of complications during Ali's pregnancy and birth. Her husband is a lovely man, but he's disabled and he needed a bit of help since Ali was on bed rest for most of her 3rd trimester. Around this time, she told us that her friend's dad had felt her up and tried to kiss her while she was staying over. We were very skeptical of this due to what had happened before. The behavior from before picked back up and became even worse. This time it was too much for us and we sent her to finish the 2nd semester of grade 12 at a special school for troubled kids. She came home from there much better than when she left. She left for university in the fall of 2021, and we've heard nothing about the accusations she made until recently. About a month ago, she sent us an article about her friend's dad, who had been arrested for touching his daughter and multiple friends of hers. My wife and I feel awful, especially since Ellie usually calls once or twice a week and we've heard nothing. Since then, attempts to reach out have been met with hostility. I feel like such a failure of a father right now.